Welcome to today's broadcast of IHSAA Boys Basketball on Hamilton County Television, presented by Logan Street Signs and Banners, celebrating their 25th year in the business. We would also like to thank our other great sponsors: Logan Street Signs and Banners, Noblesville Trophies, Community Health, Church, Hiddle and Antrim, Smith Jewelers, Indiana Restoration, HCTVcalendars.com, the Westfield Chamber, and Bill Clifford for Hamilton County Sheriff. Hi, folks. I'm Victor McCarty alongside my partner in crime tonight, Jack Russell. First off, Jack, how are you doing on this fine, almost winter night? It still kind of feels like it's a little bit of fall. And how do you think this matchup is going to be?
It's going to be a fun one. I think what we're going to see here tonight is Pendleton Heights is a tough team. I know you have some statistics on them, and I'm going to be interested for our audience to hear what you've got to say about them. But tough first battle for the Westfield Shamrocks at home.
Absolutely. You mentioned it, Jack. This is the first game for the Shamrocks this year. They were supposed to play Kokomo a few nights ago, but that game got postponed until February. So first outing here for the Shamrocks in CSI Sign Stadium. So, as you mentioned, Jack, Pendleton Arabian Knights, they are coming out swinging this year, where they unfortunately lost 61-74 to Anderson for their first game of the season. But they have had Westfield's number for quite a long time now. The last loss that the Pendleton Heights Arabian Knights had against Westfield was 2012, where they lost 44-46, and on vice versa, that's the last win that Westfield has had by 2 points.
Wow.
Otherwise, in the past 10 years, Shamrocks are about 2-8 against the Arabians. So this is going to be a heavy contested battle here tonight as we see them getting ready.
Well, I think one of the players to watch for Pendleton Heights is number 14, Eli Pancol. As we were looking at some of the statistics from the first game, and we were talking to some of the Pendleton Heights guys, seems like that is their go-to player. So it'll be interesting for Westfield to see if they can manage somebody like that in the first game of the season.
You mentioned it, Jack Pancol. He had 16 points in the first game of the season. Behind him then was Trent Miller with 15. Shoup had 15, and Dry had 8. And that's the starting lineup tonight: is Pancol, Miller, Shoup, Dry, and Ross for the Arabians. And then for Westfield, we're going to have number 10, Zach Banks, number 15, Josh Van Dyke, number 22, Garrett Pollard, number 24, Caleb Welch, and number 30, Camden Simons.
Well, and taking a look at it so far, you look at the starting five, one senior. So that's going to be a big obstacle to see if they can do it on their home floor, taking on what looks like a very more established junior-senior team for Pendleton Heights.
Absolutely. This is a very young squad for the Shamrocks. Last year they were 6-17, and on the opposite end of that, the Arabians, they were 17-7.
Yeah.
So quite a tale of two halves for both teams. And then head coach Shane Shumpter, I was surprised a couple years ago when I came home from college, and I was like, oh, Shane, he's the coach of the boys basketball team now, because he was coach of the girls when I was here, graduating back in 2011. For the boys, his record so far is 17-29, whereas with the girls, it's 122-36. So Shumpter, he can win. I mean, he took the girls' squad to the sectionals and won quite a few times, so he has that vigor, that spirit to be able to win. But it's this boys' squad. It's a young squad. They really have to, find their mustard, get their placement, and where they're going to be this year.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think they have to come out strong here against Pendleton Heights, make it a close ball game, if not try to win this thing to get this season going. Because I think a big win against a team where you're 2-8 in 10 years would really dictate how you do the rest of the season.
Absolutely. And for Arabians coming up, they have Westfield tonight, and then LaPel, and then at Carmel, and then Mount Vernon. And the next game for Westfield is against Zionsville. And Zionsville currently, for the Hoosier Crossroads Conference, is 1-0. Noblesville is also undefeated. Hamilton Southeastern is undefeated, and Brownsburg is 2-0 so far in the season. Fishers is 0-1. So again, just the beginning of the season here for boys basketball. Girls basketball, though, they've had a little bit more games behind them, and it's been interesting. The last game that you and I called here inside the stadium, it was Fishers versus Westfield, And gosh, that was
fun.
That was a very fun and intriguing game where both squads took it into overtime. You know, there were mental mistakes throughout the game for both teams, but the Shamrocks, they proved to be the stronger of the two that night.
Absolutely, and that's what's going to make that girls program, you know, about 2 years ago they had a lot of seniors. They went pretty far. They graduated. I know Coach Smith said last year, hey, we have a young team. Our JV is about the same age as our varsity, so we've got to grow, and she's done a great job of establishing a culture for the Westfield Shamrocks girls basketball program, because I can tell you, still a young team, but super sharp, what we saw that night.
Absolutely, and speaking of young squads, I know that the Arabians might be a little bit more experienced, but head coach Kevin Bates, he's only been the head coach for a few years now, and his record is 30-19. So you also know that he knows how to win. We see the lights going out here inside CSI Stadium as the squads are about to be announced, and then we will take a break for the national anthem. Once again, folks, I'm Victor McCarty alongside Jack Russell here tonight for the Westfield Shamrocks versus the Pendleton Heights Arabians. Once again, folks, I'm Victor McCarty alongside Jack Russell here tonight at Westfield as they look to take on the Pendleton Heights Arabians. In the pregame, we talked about how it's the first matchup tonight for the Shamrocks and the second for Heights. The first game they lost against Anderson, 61-74, so we'll see how tonight goes. I'm going to hand the reins over to Mr. Jack Russell for your play-by-play.
So here we go for the tip-off. We're letting the lights kick back on. They don't have the center lights. They're trying to slowly but surely get the center lights back on. But again, as we take a look at the lineup here for the Pendleton Heights Arabians, you have number 14, Eli Pancole, number 20, Trent Miller, number 24, Justin Shoup, number 30, Luke Dry, and number 54, Tristan Ross. On the Westfield Shamrock side, number 10, Zach Banks, number 15, Josh Van Dyke, number 22, Garrett Pollard, number 24, Caleb Welch, and number 30, Camden Simons. So as we get ready here for the tip-off, underway here, the lights slowly but surely kicking back on.
This is one thing that always got me, Jack. When of a morning we'd come in for gym class, the lights will be off, and we'd have to wait however long until they kicked back on.
So here we go for the opening tip-off. Shamrocks get the tip-off. Shamrocks set up the offense. Van Dyke, the point guard, looks quickly over to Banks. Back over to Van Dyke. Van Dyke looks over to Banks, looking for an option. Doesn't see it. Gets it over to Van Dyke. Van Dyke quickly gets to the middle, kicks it back out. Drives, kicks it out to Banks. Banks looks, gets it over to Welch. Welch looking for an option. Kicks it back over to Banks. Banks at the top of the key. To Van Dyke. High ball screen. Looks low, doesn't see it. Almost loses the ball there. Gets it back out to Welch. Still running the offense here. High ball screen, cuts in. They're going to call a foul. Foul's going to be on number 14, Eli Pancole. That'll be his first.
Well, the Arabians, they were locking it down defensively, but that was number 10, Zach Banks, able to slice into the middle and draw the foul.
Oh, Banks at the line to shoot two. First one's up, no good. Banks' second one is up. Second one's no good, misses both. Down come Pendleton Heights. Pendleton Heights looks to Pancole. Pancole waits for the setup for the offense. Kicks it back out to Shoup. Shoup quickly looks for an option, kicks it back to Pancole. Pancole drives. Nothing there. Gets it over to Shoup. Back over to Miller. High ball screen. Miller picks up his dribble. And now they're going to pass it around. Drives baseline. Well, they're going to call a foul here. Shooting two.
Almost the same thing happening on the opposite end of the court. The Rocks were able to play some good defense. We've got a good game thus far. I know it's only been 2 possessions, but defense is showing strong.
Absolutely, and it's a foul on number 30, Ken Simons. Shooting two is Justin Shoup. First one's up and good. The Arabians with the first point to the ball game. Shoup's second free throw is up and good. 2 for 2. Quickly down the floor come the Rocks. Welch with the ball. Kicks it back out. Back over to Banks. Welch looks for the long three. Not there. Banks in the corner. Looks for the option. Gets it over to Pollard. Back over to Banks. Banks quickly to the corner. Back to Pollard. Van Dyke drives. Flies up and no good. Rebound by Pancole.
The ball just not bouncing in the favor of the Rocks.
Pancole getting some pressure from the Shamrocks. So the Arabians set up the offense. Miller down low to Ross. Ross looks for the post up. Kicks it back out. Up and good. Number 20, Trent Miller for three.
Wide open from the top of the arc. Watch for that all night for number 20.
So here come the Shamrocks. Van Dyke at the top of the key. Kicks it down low to Pollard. Pollard looks for the option. Picks up his dribble to Banks. Banks kicks it over to Van Dyke. Van Dyke looking for the three, not there to Welch. Welch, no good. Rebound by the Arabians. Quickly down the floor. Shoup looks, drives, kicks it out. A little miscommunication.
It was a great job by the Arabians getting back on offense.
Well, miscommunication and turnovers, that's going to be a big factor in this game. Banks down to Simons. Looks, Van Dyke looking for the option. Top of the key. Drives, kicks it out to Welch. Welch drives, up, no good. Travel. It's another turnover by the Shamrocks.
Mistakes on both sides now. But as you can see, the Arabians, they're playing excellent lockdown zone defense. They don't care wherever a man might go on the Shamrock squad, outside the arc, inside the arc. They are just tempting the Rocks to make a basket, and they have not been successful thus far.
Shoup walks, and that's going to be Shamrock ball. Everybody's walking so far today.
Give them their frequent flyer miles.
There you go. Pollard brings the ball up the floor. Quickly over to Welch. Welch looks for the option to Van Dyke. High ball screen by Simmons. Over to Welch, down low to Simmons, loses it. Loose ball. Pendleton gets the ball back. Long three, no good. Quickly come the Shamrocks. Banks drives, and it's good. First 2 points of the ball game for the Shamrocks.
Banks able to get it to roll in for the Shamrocks, but I continue to note that the Arabians, they are playing two defenders whenever a Shamrock has a ball.
Quickly down low, drives, it's up and good. Miller for the 2-point bucket. And here come the Shamrocks. High ball screen by Simmons. Over to Pollard. Pollard looks, kicks it out to Banks. Banks for the three, and he's good. The Banks for the bank.
A kiss off the back end of the basket, able to make it in for Banks, making a deposit.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's going to be a 5-7 ball game. Arabians lead. 3 minutes left in the first. High ball screen. Quickly over to the corner. Shoup with the ball. Looks, drives, kicks it back out to Ross for three. Ross shoots, no good. Shamrocks down to Welch. Blocked by the Arabians. Quickly back down the floor. Moving quickly. Looking for the option. It's going to be a loose ball.
Going back to the previous play, number 54, trying to go for that three-pointer. The big man, 6'4". That's awfully tempting. And then the Rocks able to lock it back down on the turnover on the offensive side.
Into the game for the Arabians, Christian Jones, number 34, and number 42, Ryan Noel. Quickly, the Shamrocks also some substitutions here. Welch with the ball. High ball screen. Looks down low. Up and good. Jack Rynell with the 2 points.
I look for that to be a staple for the Shamrocks tonight. Just pass it inside to number 42. Try to get that easy layup.
The Arabians with the ball. Miller looks, high ball screen. Miller fires the two. No good. Rebound by Rynell. Quickly down the floor comes Banks. Banks looks, drives. No good. Pancole quickly down the floor. And there's a foul on the floor on Pollard.
Pancole undecided if he wanted to drive for the basket, but he pulled off, able to draw that foul. And that's the second foul for the Shamrocks now.
Pancol has that just natural speed, and I think that's what brings the fouls when you want to do a reach-in.
Absolutely. It's those certain technique that you just can't teach. It's just a given if you're a pure basketball player.
Absolutely. Shoop with the ball. High ball screen, doesn't take it, drives baseline. Foul on the play on Rhinell, and he'll be shooting 2.
On the opposite end now, we can see that although number 42 will be the go-to guy to get that layup for the Rocks, you also see that the Arabians are just going to try to drive it towards him to draw that foul.
Up and good. 3 for 3 on the ball game for Justin Shoop, number 24.
He came in being 75% from the free throw line.
Shoop up and good. 4 for 4 tonight. 9-7 ball game. Shamrocks down by 2. Minute 35 left to play in the first. High ball screen. Looks. Kicks it over to Welch. Welch over to Pollard. Pollard quickly down the floor to Welch. High ball screen, not going to take it. Welch for 3, and it's good.
From downtown, taking a play out of the Arabians' playbook. He says, they got a 3-point. I want one of my own.
Absolutely, and then here come the Arabians quickly. Jones with the ball. Over to Dry. Back over to Shoop. Quickly to Pancol for a long, long 3. No good. Loose ball foul. It's going to be on number 42, Ryan Noel.
With 1:04 left here in the first quarter. Again, a fantastic game thus far.
So here come the Shamrocks, slowing the game down with a minute left in the first. To Pollard. Pollard looks, gets it over to Welch. Back over to Rhinell. Back over to Welch again. Banks to set up the offense. 45 seconds left. High ball screen by Rhinell. He's open if you got him. Not there. Finn Cole looks to get in there. No, steals it this time.
Shamrocks were trying to be too fancy on that play.
32 seconds left. Penn Cole up. No good. Foul again on Noel. That's his second. Quick substitution in here for Noel. Going to pick up 2 fouls there pretty quickly. And in comes Ross.
On that possession by the Shamrocks, they were trying to set up screen after screen. It just wasn't falling. Arabians' defense locking it down. But Shamrocks, they cannot try to force anything. They have to be patient with it, and that's how they'll get their baskets.
So Banks looks at it, the clock, 25 seconds left. My guess is they're going to hold for the last shot here.
That's one of the advantages in high school basketball is that you don't have a shot clock.
Van Dyke's going to hold the ball probably down to about 8 to 7 seconds left. Banks. Here they go. Banks looks for the option. Kicks it out. Welch got it if he wants it. No good. Shoop launches. And that's the end of the first.
Welch was wide open but not able to fall for the Shamrocks. This changing of quarters is brought to you by Logan Street Signs and Banners, celebrating 25 years. Logan Street Signs and Banners specialize in last-minute signage and banners, serving Noblesville, Hamilton County since 1992. You can contact them at 317-773-7200 and visit their new website at www.loganstreetsigns.com. Also, follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Well, taking a look here for the Shamrocks, 5 points for Zach Banks, 3 points for Caleb Welch, and 2 points for Jack Rhinell, the big guy, 6'6" senior. On the other side, we've got 4 points for Justin Shoop.
All from the free throw line.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. All from the free throw line. Trent Miller for the first quarter, 5 points. And that gives you the 10-9 score. That's basic math I just did right there. How do you like that?
That's fantastic.
1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 4.
At least we're able to do that. We might be commentators, but we can do some basic math.
Oh, that's funny. 4 for 4 on the free throw line for the Arabians. 0 for 2 for the Shamrocks. So that could be a big difference in this game.
Absolutely. And we're not able to keep track of steals and assists and rebounds up here. But in the last game, number 14, Pancol, he had 8 rebounds for the game. And he's been doing just that tonight of being able to slice right up the middle and make sure he is anywhere the ball is.
Quickly, Miller with the ball, over to Shoop. Back over to Ross, cross court again. Gets it over to Miller, long three, he's got it.
Miller looking like Klay Thompson, this quick stop and go from the top of the arc.
Well, quickly, Banks with the ball. It's going to be a foul there on Rhinell. And it's going to be a turnover for the Shamrocks. That's 2 for Jack Rhinell.
In the long run, Rhinell's going to have to be careful because with him being the big man for the squad, he is going to be a staple at 6'6" to get those points down the road.
Quickly moving the ball. Penn Cole looks, kicks it over to Ross. Ross down low to Pan Cole. Pan Cole up. Foul on the arm on Welch. That's Benji Welch. That's his first foul of the ball game, the freshman. So Pan Cole at the line to shoot 2.
Shamrocks are going to have to be careful. That's now 5 team fouls here in this first half.
Well, they've done a good job. 0 points for Pan Cole, their leading scorer. First miss of the ball game.
And again, Pan Cole was a 75% free throw shooter in the last game and 43% from the field.
And the second one is good. So Pan Cole first points of the ball game. Shamrocks quickly down the floor. Van Dyke looks to set up the offense. Looks, gets it over to Banks. Banks looks for the high ball screen. Back over to Simmons. Back to Van Dyke. Van Dyke drives. Doesn't see it, gets it back out. Banks the long three. It's good.
Another one for Banks. The second deposit from the 3-point line for him tonight. Shamrocks are going to have to be careful, though, to not try to drive up in the middle and get themselves caught because that's where their turnovers happen.
Looking for the turnover. Ross quickly over. Turnover. 13-13 ball game with 6:37 left to play in the second.
Well, speaking of defense, for the Shamrocks now, they went 2-man up on the ball carrier right past the half-court line, and that's what forced the turnover.
Van Dyke looks, kicks it out to Welch. Welch over to Banks. Banks high ball screen, looks, drives. Foul on number 20, which will be Trenton Miller, his first of the ball game.
I feel like now Banks, he's really coming into his own here tonight for the first game of the season. The junior, he's looking like, man, there aren't very many seniors on this squad. It's going to be my time.
Yeah, he's doing a great job here tonight. Welch with the ball. Looks, drives. Not there. It's going to be Shamrock ball. Well, yeah, not only a young team, but you look at the starting 5 and even the 5 that are out there, every single one of them can shoot the 3. And that's what they're trying to do, spread the ball out, find options, find opportunities.
And these days in basketball, you want to be a Swiss Army knife and be able to hit from any spot on the court.
Absolutely. Banks over to Welch. Welch looks to set up the offense. High ball screen by Simmons. Doesn't take it. Kicks it out to Benji. Welch back over to Simmons. Welch again and stuck in the corner. Gets it out to Banks. Banks down to Simmons. Quickly in the corner to Benji. Welch, no good. Simmons, turnover. Gets the ball back.
It's looking like a game of volleyball out there right now.
Banks is going to slow it down. Banks slows down the Westfield offense. High ball screen. Over to Van Dyke. Van Dyke drives, has the option, blocked. No good. Pan Cole with the rebound.
Simmons under center. He was doing the work for the Shamrocks. He was asking for the ball. He was right there and ready, but the Arabians just able to outmaneuver him.
Pan Cole with the ball. Looking for the option. Miller. Dangerous from the three-point line. Over to Ross. Looks, drives on the floor, kicks it back over to Miller. Miller looks for the option, picks up his dribble. Up, 3, no good. Rebound by Banks.
Notice on that play, there were 0 green jerseys inside the paint. They were all outside the arc.
Banks drives, going to get the foul. It's going to be on the floor. Foul's going to be on number 24, his first.
Both teams with 5 fouls now.
A little quick substitution here. Welch comes out of the ball game.
And we get Pollard back in for the Shamrocks as they look to inbound.
Banks will get the Hail Mary pass back up the floor. Banks sets up the offense. Here comes the high ball screen. It's going to cut between the two defenders. Welch up and good for 3. Benji Welch, the freshman, for 3.
And that's what's going to happen to the Arabians if they continuously try to double team the ball. They're going to leave one man open, and that time it was Welch.
So here come the Arabians. Dry with the ball. Looking for the option, picks up his dribble. Over to Miller, down low to Pancole. Loses the ball. Pollard quickly down the floor. And Welch is going to set up the offense. Banks has got the 3 if he wants it. No good. Tough play there, but here come the Arabians. Pancole drives. No good. Back and forth. Van Dyke looks, kicks it out. Banks for 3 if he wants it. No good. That's what they got to get. They got to get the open threes to fall. That's what's going to spread out that defense.
Absolutely. Both teams trying to play fast and furious right now, but that's what the turnovers are coming from. They have to be able to settle in on offense and get their shots. They can't just pull up and think it's going to go in.
Shamrock showing pressure. Quickly down the floor. High ball screen, not there. Miller with the ball, gets it over to Dry. Dry to Shoop. Shoop back over to Pancole. Pancole looks for an option. It's going to be a charge on Pancole. It's going to be Shamrock ball.
Pancole feels the uneasiness for him right now where he has not been able to do it as much as he was on the first game of the season, and he's getting frustrated with himself, trying to force something, make something out of nothing, and he'll now take a seat on the bench.
So Banks with the ball, brings the ball to the floor. Set up the offense. Pollard looks for the option, not there, gets down low to Simmons. Simmons, nice job by Shoop to get his hand in. Van Dyke will inbound the ball.
We've got 3:15 left here in this second quarter. Again, a very fast-paced game for both squads.
Pollard looks, kicks it back out to Van Dyke, back over to Banks. Banks is going to set it up. Over to Welch. Kicks it back over to Pollard. Pollard looks, drives, up, and good. That's his first 2 points of the ball game.
5 so far for the night. You look at him trying to lock down on defense.
Miller with the charge.
Another charge by the Arabians. And this is the advantage the Rocks have been able to have so far tonight, is they are not trying to force anything. They are getting settled, locking it down, being rock solid on defense.
Banks with the ball. He'll bring the ball up the floor. Looks, kicks it out over to Welch. Welch back over to Van Dyke. Van Dyke over to Pollard. Pollard kicks it back over to Banks. Banks drives. Kicks it back out to Pollard. Pollard looks for the option over to Welch. Banks again sets up the offense. Banks shoots it up. No good. Rebound by the Arabians. It's going to be a jump ball. Oh, they're going to call a foul. It's a 1-and-1 call. So it's going to be on Banks. That'll be his first.
We saw the changeup on defense for the Arabians on that last possession. They've kind of shifted away from the zone defense, going back to man-to-man, as we see the Shamrocks leading 18-13. 2:10 left to play here in this first half.
Shoop at the free throw line. First one is good. 5 for 5 tonight. Second free throw up. And good. 6 for 6 tonight.
I got to make sure to bite my tongue whenever he's at the line, not give the commentator skirts.
Van Dyke with the ball. Looks, drives, doesn't see it. Kicks it out to Simmons. Simmons over to Banks. Banks sets up the offense. Over to Welch. Loses it. It's going to go to the Arabians.
And I was just about to say that's something the Shamrocks are going to have to work on is communication. When you try to drive it from either left or right side, you know, your intuition says, oh, I want to kick it out to an open three, and there just wasn't a man there.
Quickly down the floor come the Arabians. Shoop with the ball. Quickly over to Jones. Jones over to Miller. Quick cross court over to Shoop. Back over to Jones. Looking low, doesn't see it, to Miller. Miller over to Jones, down low.
You can see the Arabians are trying to get it inside to number 54.
They got a foul on the play. Looks like it's going to be on number 30 for the Shamrocks. That's going to be Camden Simmons.
And honestly, I could really see that coming. Number 30, he was playing it strong against number 54. It's a little too much. It's going to get called.
Ross's first one is up and good. Second one is no good. Down the floor come the Shamrocks. Banks with the ball. Slips a little bit. It's going to be a tip. It's going to stay with the Shamrocks.
Looks like we need a towel boy down there
Yeah.
to mop up the floor.
Van Dyke will inbound the ball. Van Dyke doesn't see anything. Gets it over to Pollard. Pollard gives himself some space. Drives. Kicks it out to Welch. Welch drives. They're going to call, looks like maybe a blocking call here. That's going to call a charge on Welch. That's his first of the ball game. That's the 9th foul. Again, Shamrock showing pressure. Shoop with the ball. Kicks it out to Miller. Miller can fire away. No good. Van Dyke quickly up the floor. Van Dyke with the ball. Looks. Not there. Gets it to Simmons. Simmons kicks it back out to Pollard. Pollard over to Banks. Banks over to Welch. High ball screen if he wants it. Welch looks, picks up his dribble, gets it over to Van Dyke.
Westfield, they have to move. You know, not just communication, but you got to communicate with your feet. You got to work with your teammates.
Looking for that last shot. 20 seconds left to play in the second. Arabians don't want them to have the easy pressure there. Banks. 9 seconds. They're going to call a foul here. That should put them at the 1-and-1.
Number 30.
Yep. Foul on number 30 there. That's his first. Substitution in the ball game. Number 40, Michael Koza. Michael Koza is also 6'6". Two 6'6" players. That's pretty awesome. Banks' first one up is good.
And the only 6'6" player for Heights is Damian Wareham. And he has not seen action yet tonight.
Banks' second one's no good. Foul on the play. And just like that, there's going to be another 1-and-1. Foul's going to be on number 40, Michael Koza. So with 8 seconds left, Ross is going to be shooting a 1-and-1. Should be shooting 2.
He's 1 of 2 so far tonight.
First one no good. Ross's second one up and good. 8 seconds left. Quickly to Van Dyke. Van Dyke, 5, 4, up, no good. Ross fires, no good.
Once again, I am Victor McCarty alongside Jack Russell here tonight as the Westfield Shamrocks play host to the Pendleton Heights Arabians, where the Shamrocks lead 19-17. We'll take a break for the half and be right back for your halftime stats.
When medical care is needed, where will you turn? With Community's Connect to Care program, one call or click finds you the closest open appointment. Request a time yourself, or let us do it. From a primary care doctor or virtual visit, to a med check or community clinic at Walgreens. Just call or click. You can go right to our website or to me. Connect to Care from Community.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking for Logan Street signs and banners.
You found us.
But this ain't Logan Street. This is South 10th.
We moved 22 years ago.
Well, how come you didn't change the name?
That would have just confused people.
Well, actually, South 10th is Allisonville. If you're from Fishers.
Well, before that it was 37A, and before that it was State Road 37.
So you're telling me that Logan Street signs and banners isn't on Logan Street anymore. It's actually on South 10th. That's Allisonville and Fishers. And before that, it was 37A and 37?
So you got that straight?
Logan Street signs and banners conveniently not located on Logan Street, but rather South 10th Street in Noblesville.
Exactly.
The IHSAA, in partnership with Blue Frame Technology, is pleased to announce that you can now watch your favorite IHSAA sports on the all-new IHSAA TV Apple TV app. Watch live or search through thousands of archived broadcasts. Have an older Apple TV? You can still watch on your TV by going to AirPlay on your iOS device and choosing Apple TV. Download the new Apple TV app now in the Apple TV App Store.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake. Yeah.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got a counter right here. Isn't this where you place the orders?
We sell trophies, we sell plaques, we do embroidery. No food.
You got carry out?
Unlike the internet, everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
You know, Jim, I'll be back tomorrow to pick it all up.
We'll wait for you.
Don't wait long.
And we're back here today in Westfield for a broadcast of IHSAA Boys Basketball on Hamilton County Television, presented by Logan Street Signs and Banners, celebrating 25th year in business. We'd like to thank our other sponsors: Noblesville Trophies, Community Health, Church, Hiddle and Antrim, Smith Jewelers, Indiana Restoration, HCTVCalendars.com, the Westfield Chamber, and Bill Clifford for Hamilton County Sheriff. Once again, folks, I'm Victor McCarty alongside my partner in crime, Jack Russell. We're just indulging here in the Little League game for the travel squad for the Shamrocks. It's been quite invigorating.
They can shoot.
They can indeed. We've seen a couple go up from downtown. We have 3 minutes left here at halftime. Let's do a little recap of the game thus far. It's been a solid back and forth for both squads. Score sits at 19 for the Shamrocks and 17 for the Arabians, which personally, I got to be honest, it's a little bit of a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Just looking at the past 10 years of how the Pendleton has had the Shamrocks number, basically being 2-8 is the Shamrocks.
Absolutely. I think when you look at the statistics, it makes sense. Looking at the point guard, number 10, Zach Banks, 9 points on the first half compared to 10 for the rest of the team. Then on the other side, the flip side, you have Pan Cole, who starts the season with 16 points, just a single point in that first half. So that's a big difference in the ballgame, I think.
Yeah, I know this is just the first game for the Shamrocks, second game for the Arabians, but you look at the first game that the Arabians had against Anderson, which they lost 61-74. Pancol, he had 16 points, so maybe he's just in hibernation mode right now, and come this second half, he's just looking to come out swinging. He had 16 points that game, 8 rebounds, and we've seen him underneath the basket time and time again thus far tonight. He was 17% from the three-point line, though, but we have seen other people step up for the Arabians, and that's Trent Miller. He has 2 threes, and this kid is looking like he can hit just from about anywhere out on the court.
Absolutely, and I think part of this, too, is for the Arabians right now is Justin Shoup is their saving grace kind of a little bit right now, because if you look at Shoup, he has 6 for 6. He has 6 points, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. The rest of the team shooting only 50%, 3 for 6.
And I'd be remiss, Jack, if I didn't knock on wood.
Yeah.
Don't give him that commentator's curse. Shoup has been a great asset for the Arabians thus far tonight. And then again, we look back at the Shamrocks. They have not been so great from the free throw line. Only 1 point coming from Zach Banks here tonight. They really have to hone that skill as the game continues, because as we see, it's 19-17 in favor of the Shamrocks right now. And in a game like this, when it's this close, at the end it's going to come down to who can make your free throws.
Absolutely. I think that's what we're going to see. So what I'm interested in seeing in the second half is what Pendleton Heights does to control Banks, because having half your points, you talked about that in the locker room. The other part of it for the Arabians is getting Penn Cole going. If they can get him going, he can start to fire on ends the game with 16 points. That's a win. If you've got him and you hold him down to less than 10 points or 10 points or fewer, I think the Shamrocks got a shot at winning this thing.
And defensively speaking, we saw two sides of the Arabians in both the first and second quarter. First quarter, they were all about the zone defense. Second quarter, they switched to the man. And so they're really trying to find the identity of where they can get best in the face of the Shamrocks. Shamrocks, they've really been solid when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. They've been close to whoever they're guarding, getting their hands up, and that's what you got to do in a game like this.
So here we go, the start of the third quarter. Welch to inbound. Cross court to Van Dyke. Van Dyke with the ball. Sets up the offense. Van Dyke over to Banks. Banks looks, drives, kicks it out to Pollard. Pollard looks. High ball screen by Simmons. Over to Pollard. Back down low to Banks. Banks drives, no good. Great hustle play by Welch. Down to Welch. Welch got the three if he wants it. No good.
Almost.
That's going to stay with the Shamrocks.
It almost looked like that Welch was tipped at the palm when he got that three-pointer off, but refs letting it go.
So the Shamrocks ball. Van Dyke to inbound. Looks, gets it over to Banks. Banks will bring the ball up the floor. Quickly down the floor. Looks, gets it over to Van Dyke, back to Banks. High ball screen. Looks, Banks drives, got the two if he wants it, no good. Rebound by the Arabians.
At that point, I feel as if Banks was undecided if he wanted to drive, but he instead tried to go for the pull-up.
Pancol up and good.
And just as we mentioned his name, he's the first one getting points up on the board here in the second half.
So Van Dyke with the ball, looks, drives, fires, up, no good. Rebound by the Shamrocks, kicks it back out. It's going to stay with the Shamrocks.
That is some great toughness by number 30, Patchett, who is 6 foot for the Shamrocks. He is playing inside the paint and just trying to get as many rebounds as he can, if not a layup.
Simons sets up the offense. Over to Welch. Welch looks low. Gets it to Simons. Simons quickly over to Van Dyke. Back to Banks. Quick ball movement by the Shamrocks. Banks over to Welch. High ball screen coming. Takes it. Looks. Drives. Kicks it out to Van Dyke. Van Dyke drives. Fires for two. No good.
And that's something the Shamrocks have to remember, is that if your center is not open, you want that, get that easy layup, just pass it back out to either of the corners, swing it out, let Banks reset at the top of the key.
Shoop sets up the offense, gets it over to Ross. Ross out to Payne Cole. Back over to Dry. Dry over to Miller. Miller back to Payne Cole. They set up the offense. Quickly moving the ball around, down low to Ross. Ross up, no good. Payne Cole all over the place. Gets it up and good.
And just like that, he has 4 points here in this second half. It almost looked like he was going for the alley-oop.
Banks over to Welch. Welch down to Van Dyke. High ball screen. Kicks it over to Pollard. Pollard keeps the ball, gets it to Welch. Welch for three, no good. Shoop with the ball, quickly down the floor. Looks, drives. It's good. Timeout by the Shamrocks. And just like that, that is a timeout needed.
This timeout is brought to you by the Hamilton County Events Calendar. Be sure to check out this calendar for upcoming events in Hamilton County, including local or high school events. If you have an event, add to our calendar, easy and free. The Hamilton County Community Calendar has been online since 1995. You can find it at www.hctvcalendar.com.
Coming out of the timeout here, Pan Cole quickly firing 4 points, and that is part of the difference in this ball game in the second half.
Well, I'll tell you what, his ears must have been tingling. He heard him talking about us, or other way around.
Yeah.
He heard us talking about him, and thus far he's really been the lightning that the Arabians have needed.
Banks with the ball. Simons at the top of the key. Kicks it over to Van Dyke. High ball screen. Not there. Another high ball screen. Van Dyke's going to take that one. Sets up the offense. Quickly over to Welch. Welch looks. Fires over back to Van Dyke. Van Dyke looks low. Not there. Gets it over to Pollard. Quickly across court to Banks for three. Got it. No good. Pan Cole with the rebound. So Shoop brings the ball to the floor. Sets up the offense. Shoop with the ball. High ball screen coming down to Miller. Miller drives up and good. No foul there. That's 2 points for Miller. Giving him 10 for the ball game.
That could have been a reach in by number 24.
Banks looks the ball. Looks, kicks it out over to Pollard. We got a foul on the play.
And it looks like they'll call it now.
Justin Shoop's second foul of the night. First one of the second half. Simons gets it over to Pollard. Quickly down low to Van Dyke. Van Dyke gets out of trouble. Down to Simons. Back over to Pollard. Long three. No good. Banks drives up. No good. Pancol with another rebound.
And you can see the changeup that Pendleton has made up on defense. They're putting their main guy, number 14, in there under center to make sure he's controlling the tempo on defense.
Another basket there by number 24, Justin Shoup. It's an 8-point ball game with 3:40 left to play in the third. Up and good by Welch. That's his first 2 points. 5 total for the ball game.
27-21 now. All of a sudden, Arabians find themselves on top.
Shoup with the ball. High ball screen by Ross. Looks, gets down low. It's going to be a turnover.
At 6'4", Ross looked like he could have used that extra 2 inches to catch that ball for that easy layup.
Back into the ball game is Rynell. Also Welch. Banks looks, gets it over to Welch. High ball screen. Rolls, looks. Got Rynell, not there. Gets it quickly down low to Banks. Banks looks for the option down to Rynell. Quick cross down over to Welch. To Welch. No good. Rebound by Welch. Over to Banks. Banks almost loses the ball there. Gets it down to Rynell. Charging call. That's going to be Rynell's third.
From up here, that call looked like it might have gone either way, but the refs have a much better angle on it than we do.
Shoup with the ball. Over to Pancol. Pancol over to Ross. Ross for 3, no good. Pollard with the ball. Quickly down the floor. Looks, drives, kicks it out to Welch. Welch for 3, no good. Pollard keeps the ball. Gets it over to Banks. Banks for 3, no good. Rebound by the Arabians. Here come the Arabians. Looks for the option. Miller sets up the offense. Once the high ball screen, takes baseline. No good. Rebound by Ross, no good. Here they come. They're going to call a charging call on Banks. That's a tough one, but I'm going to tell you this. Pancol saw that coming, had his feet planted in the ground.
And honestly, that's just playing smart defense. You know, keeping your head in the game, knowing where the person that you have to defend is, getting yourself set. You know, his feet weren't moving, and the call going inside the Arabians.
Shoup with the ball. Shoup looks, gets it, trying to get it to Miller. Miller with the ball. Miller drives, stolen by the Shamrocks. Banks down the floor quickly. Reach in call, looks like it's going to be on dry.
You can see Banks now, the tenacity that he has in his eyes. He is looking at the scoreboard and saying, oh, I see my team. We're down by 6 points right now, and it could easily be by more. And he wants to make sure he can get open for those shots.
Rynell with the ball. Gets it back out to Welch. Welch to Banks. Banks for 3. No good. Rebound by Rynell. Back over to Welch. Welch for 3. No good. Quickly down the floor come the Arabians.
Well, Jack, as they say, you either live or die by the 3, and right now the Shamrocks, that's about all they're trying to get is from beyond the arc.
Shoup with the ball. Shoup looks, gets it over to Pancol. Pancol back over to Miller. Miller looking for the option. High ball screen, not there. Gets it over to Pancol. Back over to Drive, back over to Shoup. Just working the ball around the perimeter. Gets out to Pancol for 3. No good. Down to Pollard. Pollard pump fakes. Got the foul on Shoup.
That was a great play. First off, rebound by Welch, and then easily maneuvering that ball on the inside to his man, number 22. Try to get that layup, but calling that foul. That's a third team foul on the Arabians in this half. 2
important points here. Pollard's first one is up, no good.
Keep in mind, folks, the Shamrocks have still only made 1 free throw here tonight.
1 for 5. Second one's up and good. Arabians with the ball. Looks like some pressure from the Shamrocks. Drive brings the ball up the floor. 35 seconds left. Quickly over to Dry. Dry drives baseline. Not there. Gets it over to Miller. Miller over to Jones. Back over to Dry. Ross down low to Jones. They're just waiting it out here. Dry, 8 seconds. Miller, 5, 4, up, blocked by Banks.
That was a great defensive holdout by the Shamrocks. Really, again, their key player, Banks, making the stop with that SWAT, calling the SWAT team. This timeout was brought to you by Church, Hiddle, and Antrim, attorneys at law. From personal injury claims to complex business litigations to divorce cases, Church, Hiddle, and Antrim protect the rights of individuals, businesses, schools, and government bodies all around Indiana, including Noblesville, Fishers, Maryville, and Tipton. You can contact their Noblesville office at 317-773-5320 or simply visit their website at www.cchalaw.com.
5-point ball game. The last 8 minutes of the game coming here shortly.
In that quarter, Jack, the Shamrocks, they were only able to score 3 points. Whereas,
and you're right. And I think, again, we talked about it before. When Pancol got some of his points, now you look at outside of that, there have been some key players here. You look at Trent Miller with his points. Then all of a sudden you have Justin Shoup. He's firing, what is that? He's got 10 points for the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
So they've spread the ball around here, and that's been the kind of the issue. But like you talked about, if they live or die by the three and they're not firing out threes, that's how you get 3 points.
Absolutely.
So Pendleton starts the fourth quarter. Looks, gets it over to Shoup. Back over to Miller. Gets it to Dry. Miscommunication there. It's going to be a turnover.
At number 30, Luke Dry, he knew it as soon as he passed the ball that there were 2 green jerseys in his direction that he was tossing the ball, but no one was looking his way.
Yeah, as soon as he let go of it, you could tell on his face.
It was that uh-oh moment.
Yes. So the Shamrocks with the ball. Over to Van Dyke. Van Dyke looks to Welch. Quickly over to Welch. Back over to Banks. High ball screen to Rynell. Rynell up and good.
And just as I mentioned in the first quarter, Rynell, he was going to be a big star for the Shamrocks here in this fourth quarter. You got to be patient when you control the ball and just make sure your man is open. Pass it in there for that layup.
So quickly come the Arabians. Look, get it cross court over to Shoup. High ball screen over to Pancol. Back over to Ross. Ross drives baseline. Not there. To Miller for 3. He's good. 3 threes for the night. 6-point ball game. Up over to Van Dyke. Van Dyke fires the 2. No good. Rynell gets the 2.
And looking at Banks now, he came up off that play limping. Gonna have to be careful, manage his time here tonight.
Miller for 3. Got it. He is on fire.
If we were playing NBA Jam right now, he would be the guy you'd want to have the ball in his hands. This timeout brought to you by Community Health Network. Community Health is Central Indiana's leader in providing health care services where and when patients need them. With any questions, you can contact Community Health at 317-355-7775 or check out their website at www.ecommunity.com.
Well, 6:23, they've got to be able to control the momentum of the Arabians for the Westfield Shamrocks. But on the flip side, when Miller's lights out, I mean, you got to give him the ball.
There's not much more you can do, absolutely, other than set him up at the top of the key or to the left, to the right, get the ball inside Miller's hands. And as of now, he's finding a way to get that ball inside the basket.
Well, what's been really impressive is you took a look at the very beginning of the game. We took a look at the statistics, and we pretty much said, okay, Pancole's the guy. He's going to be the scorer. Well, Pancole having an off night, and then 3 other Arabians getting almost 10 points. They've been a big help for him.
And that's just how diverse this Heights squad is whether it be Pancole, Miller, sometimes Dry. Any night of the week, you can look to a different squad player to make those points.
So out of the timeout, 6:10 left to play in the fourth. Van Dyke gets it over to Welch. Welch looks, fires, no good. Rebound by the Arabians. Shamrocks showing pressure. Got a foul here. Looks might be on Rynell. 24. Caleb Welch, his second of the ball game.
But both teams only have 3 fouls here in this fourth quarter.
Shoup gets the inbound. Looks, gets it over to Miller. Miller gets it back over to Pancole. Back over to Dry, quickly over to Shoup. Shoup looks for the option to Miller for 3. It's good.
Shamrocks are going to have to pull out a bucket of water because Miller right now, he is the man to be on fire.
Justin Shoup, his 4th. Be Shamrock's ball. That'll send him to the bench. 10-point ball game.
Arabians are going to want to make sure that Shoup does not foul out as he is perfect from the line thus far tonight. They're going to want him inside.
Banks with the beauty off the glass and in. 28-36. Shamrocks down by 8. 5:20 left to play in the fourth. Pancole looks for the option. Gets it over to Dry, over to Miller. Miller for 2, and it's good.
Woo! Anywhere out on the court, Miller is going to find his way.
Over to Welch. Welch up. Going to be a foul on the play. It's going to be on number 42. That's Ryan Noel. That's his 3rd. So Welch is at the line to shoot 2. First one's up and good. That's his first free throw of the ball game. Second one's up and good.
Those 2 points were much needed for the Shamrocks from the line.
Shooting 50% from the free throw line right now, the Shamrocks are. Dry with the ball over to Pancole. Pancole looks, gets it over to Jones. Jones quickly over to Pancole. Back over to Miller. Miller can shoot. Dry with the ball. Picks up his dribble. Gets it back over to Jones. Tight defense right now, and there's a reach-in call on Welch.
And if you're Welch, that is not something you want to do to give Arabians more fouls, because as the longer this game goes on, the Arabians are going to want to get the ball in the hands of Shoup.
Miller with the ball. Drives baseline. Up. Foul. Looks like it's going to be on Jack Rynell. That's his 4th. That's what they're going to call it. So Miller at the line, shoot 2. First one's up and good. That doesn't surprise anybody.
Absolutely not. He has found his rhythm tonight. And thus far in this second half, this fourth quarter, it's been all Miller.
Miller up and good. Quickly down the floor come the Shamrocks. 10-point ball game. Welch over to Pollard. Pollard looks, kicks it out to Banks. Banks doesn't see it, gets it. Miscommunication there.
Banks found himself hesitating. He wanted to go for the three, but before he knew it, right there was number 14. He's played some great defense here in the second half.
Great play there, foul on Dry. That's going to be his third. So Zach Banks, number 10 at the line to shoot two. First one no good. Banks to shoot the second one. Second one's up, and it's good. Pan Cole with the ball. A little pressure by the Shamrocks. Over to Jones. Shamrocks keep it. The Arabians keep it. Back over to Pan Cole. Down to Miller. Miller cross court to Jones for three, and it's good. Number 34, Christian Jones.
Getting his first points of the night. That was some great hustle by Caleb Welch for the Shamrocks, but when you double team whoever has the ball, you're going to leave someone open.
Van Dyke fouled and one. Caleb Welch, number 24.
Shamrocks down by 10 right now, 33-43 with 3:30 left to go. Lots of threes. Just as we've seen Trent Miller hit from about anywhere out on the court tonight.
Up and good.
Westfield takes their timeout, which means it's brought to you by Smith Jewelers on the Square. Smith Jewelers has been serving Hamilton County, including Noblesville, Fishers, Westfield, and Carmel, for over 65 years. Many jewelry stores have come and gone, yet Smith's remains. If one were to ask how and why, the answer would be our outstanding jewelry selection and customer service. The knowledgeable staff at Smith Jewelers is eager to give our customers a memorable and positive experience. You can contact them at 317-773-3383 or visit them online at www.smithsonthesquare.com.
Good timeout. 9-point ball game. 3:30 left to play in the fourth. It's been the Miller show.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
And we're not talking about Reggie Miller, 9 points in 8 seconds. No, this guy, man, he is a great asset for Pendleton Heights.
He has 23 points.
23 points out of the 43 for Pendleton so far tonight. And he's a senior on this squad, one of the only starting seniors. And he is leading his team.
Arabians inbound. Get it quickly to Pan Cole. Quickly down low. Gets it to Jones. Jones looks for the option. Over to Dry. Dry over to Miller. Miller for three. I can't believe he missed that.
I know, a rare miss. And the Shamrocks, they left him wide open. And just like that, a turnover now for the Shamrocks.
Well, that's the thing. When you're wide open, that's when you miss it.
Yeah.
Shoop over to Pan Cole. Pan Cole looks, drives, dunks it home.
Pengel driving it straight to the basket. Give this man some Jordans. He's got the ups.
I believe that's what they call boom shakalaka. Seriously, that was insane. save.
I'll tell you what, in my years here at Westfield, I never once really saw a slam dunk. They're very rare in high school sports.
We might be on Sports Center.
I know. No.
And he misses the free throw. I mean, really cool, though, but he misses the free throw.
He made it where it counts, though.
Shamrocks up and good. Caleb Welch with the 2 points. Down the floor, Hail Mary pass to Miller.
That was a gutsy call by Pancol.
Looks, gets it back over to Pancol. Back over to Dry. Dry looks, gets it over back to Pancol. Jones with the ball, double teamed. They're going to call a foul here.
And without a shot clock, the Shamrocks really have their backs against the wall, being down 36-45. They know that they have to bring the pressure, but with the way the Arabians are shooting lights out right now, it's going to be tough to come back from this one.
Pollard with the foul. Christian Jones at the line, shooting 1-1. Up and good. Jones quietly with 4 points on the night. Second shot up and good. They missed 4 free throws. That's huge. That is huge.
I just don't think that they understand that, free throws, that's what it comes down to. This timeout brought to you by Indiana Restoration Cleaning Services. No job is too small or too big for Indiana Restoration Services. Whether you are a homeowner or a large business experiencing water, fire, or storm and mold remediation, or a homeowner that simply needs a good carpet clean, Indiana Restoration has you covered. You can contact them at 317-776-9942 or visit them online at www.indianarestoration.com.
Well, taking a look at the free throws, 7 for 12 for the Shamrocks against the Pendleton Heights, 14 for 17.
And again, that is Shoop. Perfect from the line.
Banks with the ball, gets it over to Van Dyke. Van Dyke looks for the option. Fires the long 2, up and good. His first 2 points of the ball game. Gets it to Shoop. Shoop. Going to go to Westfield.
Banks appealing to the man in stripes and able to get the ball to go their way.
Now, it feels like the second half has been all Pendleton Heights, but it's a 9-point ball game here.
I know, it's very still doable for the Shamrocks. They just cannot turn it over.
Ball loose. Gets it over to Banks. Banks looks for the option, kicks it out to Patchett. Patchett, no good. Over to Shoop. Quickly over to Pancol. Pancol up and good.
But just like that, Pancol, he's come right back into this game and saying, hey, Miller's getting a lot of points on the board. I got to outshine him a little bit. And I feel like it's iron sharpening iron for the Arabians.
Simon's up and good. Quick 2 points. His first, 3 points on the ball game.
This timeout brought to you by Bill Clifford for Hamilton County Sheriff. Bill Clifford is currently a sergeant with the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office and has committed his life to serving the community with integrity. As a resident of Westfield with his wife Cheryl and 3 kids, family safety is Clifford's top priority and understands the Sheriff's Office must be proactive against new threats in order to best protect you. For more information, follow the campaign on Facebook at Clifford for Sheriff. And remember to vote Bill Clifford for Hamilton County Sheriff on May 8th, 2018. Follow Bill on Facebook at Clifford for Sheriff and website www.cliffordforsheriff.com. Well, just like that, Jack, it's still a 9-point game, but if the Shamrocks are able to hold steady on defense and force those turnovers like they did earlier in the game, it could really be anyone's game. they lived or died by the 3 in the third quarter, and that's where they've been able to dig themselves a hole down by the 9 points. But just like that, if they're able to turn it up to 11 and make 3 threes, they're right back in it.
The Arabians to inbound. Miller quickly over to shoot. Quickly down the floor. Up. It's good. Quick 2 points for number 24, Justin Shoup. Banks down low to Welch. Welch for 3. No good. Rebound by Jones. Jones fires it over to Shoup. Looks like it's going to be a foul on Pollard. And it's going to be a 1-and-1. That's his third.
Let's see if Shoup is able to remain perfect on the night.
Six for 6 tonight. Fires. Good. Make that 7 for 7. Second shot up. No good.
Oh, so close.
Welch with the ball. Gets it over to Van Dyke. Over to Banks. To Simons. To Van Dyke again. Quickly over to Pollard. Picks up his dribble. Looks. Gets it down low to Simons. Back over to Pollard.
The Shamrocks are playing too much on the right side of the court. They need to be able to swing it around to a man open. As you can see, the Arabians, they're double teaming whoever has the ball.
Banks a long one. No good. Welch a long 3, and it's good. Welch with the long 3.
This timeout brought to you by the Westfield Chamber, Jack. What do we have going on with the Westfield Chamber?
Oh, we got so much stuff going on. Westfield Chamber of Commerce supporting the Westfield community for 36 years. Got a couple events to end the year. It's going to be December 12th at Crossroads Church at Westfield is our legislative coffee with the Chamber. So we'll have State Senator Victoria Sparks, State Representative Tony Cook, and State Representative Donna Shively. That'll be from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then we end out the season with our year in review December 21st at the Bridgewater from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can purchase tickets at westfield-chamber.org. It's been a fun year for the Westfield Chamber. About 60 new members.
And speaking of your website, I took a look the other day, and it's looking quite sharp.
Yeah, we're slowly but surely getting it up and running.
Absolutely.
The Arabians look. Get it inbound to Miller. Over to Dry. 30 seconds left. Over to Shoup. Kicks it back out to Dry. Back to Shoup again. 20 seconds. Simons with the foul. They'll be doing a 1-and-1 still. 19 seconds. Unless there's a miracle, it'll be 2-9 against the Pendleton Heights Arabians in many, many years. Shoup's free throw up and good.
I bet Shoup is wishing he had that one back now. He was almost perfect from the line tonight.
Van Dyke up, no good. Rebound by the Arabians, and they're going to just end this one. And with that, at the end of the fourth, the Pendleton Heights Arabians 54, the Westfield Shamrocks 43. I think player of the game for Pendleton Heights, no doubt, number 20, Trent Miller with 25 points on the night.
Wow, 25 for Miller, and then you look at it, Shoup had 15 with basically all of it coming from the line. And then you also had Pancol with that awesome dunk there in the fourth quarter that really put it away. I mean, anywhere you looked on the court for the Arabians, they were able to just, quite frankly, outscore the Shamrocks. With the Shamrocks, it was their first outing here tonight. They now fall to 0-1. They held fast at the beginning. The Arabians taking over. Arabians now 1-1. once again, we would like to thank you for joining us at this IHSAA boys basketball game on Hamilton County Television, brought to you by Logan Street Signs and Banners, who are celebrating their 25th year in business. We would also like to thank our other sponsors, Noblesville Trophies, Community Health, Church, Hiddle and Antrim, Smith Jewelers, Indiana Restoration, Hamilton County Calendars, Westfield Chamber, and Bill Clifford for Hamilton County Sheriff. For our crew, fantastic crew tonight, our all-star team, Jack Russell, and myself, Victor McCarty, we thank you for tuning in and have a happy holidays.